Maldine. Saundra, drained after her display, asked if I could summon a magnificum. I told her I thought I could. Then she made her request, not for herself, but for DagGar. She wants us to take him back to the garden. I refused, but she claimed the request was for Cullen, not me. DagGar then revealed the truth. He can speak. He was created by a sorcerer named Coronis in Saddam, one of a kind. Saundra called him her companion, even her confidant. As she withers, I cannot tell whether she is vampiress or demoness, but her request leaves us bound to DagGar and burdened with more questions than answers.
Welcome back. I'm your host and author, Mike Carmel. This is the Dark Razor Chronicles Streamcast, Season 3, Episode 4, Road Talk. Tonight, Saundra's strength falters, her requests grow sharper, and Sharelle finds herself pressed between secrets too heavy to bear. And in the garden, Krista walks closer to choice that will shape not just her training, but the very roads ahead.
Sharelle Maldine. Mages. I lower my voice, careful not to offend. I've had enough of Saundra's threats for one day.
Well, yes, DagGar is powerful. Skilled in healing, mostly, but he knows many tricks. Probably more than the Tilwith Teg.
Tilwith Teg? Who the hells are they? Every new detail about DagGar twists my gut with unease. He can't come with us. He just can't. Who knows what he's capable of? But if I refuse, Saundra might turn hostile. If I'm successful with the Uoker Daemonium Habentum, maybe I can figure out a way to leave DagGar behind. Or I might have to kill him. Except now he's magus? Is she serious? I glance at DagGar. He speaks, sure, but so do goblins. He has a knife, though I've no idea what good it would do. And what if Saundra's using us? What if this is all a ploy to escape this place? We do all the work and she slips through to the garden. I want to bury my face in my hands, but I know every gesture is being weighed. We can't afford a fight. If I say no, she might attack. But if I say yes, am I just creating more problems?
Dear,
Saundra says suddenly, startling me. Dear? The word makes my stomach twist in anger. I take a breath, forcing calm, and look at her again. An old, withered woman, sagging under the weight of age. She looks like someone's grandmother. My anger ebbs as she leans back.
if you still believe in my strength, then I've done my job well. The truth is, I have little strength left. It's all for show. If you defy me now, I can do nothing. I've laid myself bare to your mercy. I can only hope you'll agree to my requests.
Your requests? Take DagGar with us and kill you? Saundra frowns at my bluntness. If this life is so terrible, why haven't you asked DagGar for release? Her attempt to grimace cracks her skin like dry earth.
How can I ask that of him? It would sentence him to a life of loneliness. I mean as much to him as he does to me. I don't think he could do it. You must understand, Cheryl. DagGar lives for companionship. He longs for friends, for adventure, but he values friends more. I love DagGar with all my heart, and he loves me just as much.
That concerns me. DagGar loves this creature I call evil. What does that say about him? Saundra watches me carefully.
This is not a sign of his nature. DagGar does not condone what I have had to do in the past. He loves me, our conversations, our bond. If all goes as I have asked, it will be very hard on him. When you leave, if you do not fulfill my request, then I will die here, slowly. The essence of Sansa sustains me in this cruel way. It leaves me without strength, only pain. Somehow, it keeps me in this life by a thread.
She hesitates before continuing, her voice almost a whisper.
That is, unless his minions find me first. Then, perhaps I will be torn apart, or worse, I will become. That is the horror that keeps me from surrendering to them. An eternity of madness, satisfied only by killing in his name. Serving the Forsaken One.
Her gaze locks onto mine.
Sherelle, you cannot allow this. Either of you can do this for me. It would be a small price to gain a reward so great as DagGar. The joy and happiness he has given me, I cannot express.
I sit back, studying her. Saundra is desperate. I glance at Cullen. DagGar sits on the table, talking animatedly, his huge ears erect, eyes wide and gleaming with excitement. He looks harmless, even playful, but the knife strapped to his back nags at me. Can he even use it? Can he reach it with those stubby limbs? I turn back to Saundra. She watches DagGar with glossy eyes, filled with something close to tenderness. I'll have to play along, for now. If Saundra's requests are genuine, we may be able to dispatch an enemy of the circle, perhaps even two. We are about 6 hours from La Rose.
If you don't dawdle,
Saundra replies weakly. Gods, I hate the way she talks to me.
and I truly advise you don't. By nightfall, the road to La Rose is treacherous, and La Rose itself is far worse.
She takes a slow breath, speaking with effort.
You'll want to make haste for the temple. There are stairs on the south side leading to the top. Once there, you will stand in a thinning. That, at least, will keep you safe from his minions.
Why? If we can stand in the thinning, why can't they?
The thinnings pass through the abyss to connect the worlds. There is something about the abyss that frightens them. I suspect they feel their master's pull, feel their souls being tugged as he calls them from life into final service. Whatever it is, they retreat quickly from these places.
I frown. She knows the abyss isn't just a space between worlds. Its essence. A conduit. Of course his minions would be afraid. Caracas would feel them as if they were standing at arm's length. And you've experienced this. Saundra hesitates, taking measured breaths.
Yes, twice while being pursued. The first time, I thought I was just fleeing to the roof. My power had already begun to dwindle. I could only sustain flight for a short distance. When the werewolves burst onto the upper floor, I didn't realize I was in the abyss. The thinning was smaller then, but they retreated instantly, yipping and barking. They looked scared. The second time, I knew it was a haven. Even you should be able to work it out.
Gods damn it all. She speaks to me like I'm a child. Like I'm some ignorant wretch stumbling through things I don't understand. I want to ball my fists and scream, not at her, but at everything. How did this happen? How did we fall into Sansa? Now we face a demoness. And worse, DagGar. What the hells is he? What kind of menace am I about to release into the garden? And the Uocardemonium habentum. I have to cast it by rote? How? I've only seen it done that way a handful of times. I'll have to improvise, piece it together as I go. Can I even do that? I'll need contraptions. Oh gods, I forgot about the contraptions. Can I build them? Can I actually do that to myself? I force the thought away and whisper in my mind, Corbin, give me I stop. He will not strengthen me. He told me so. The realization settles into me like a weight, more than I was willing to admit. My guts tremble. My face wants to follow. No, I can't cry. Not now. I turn toward DagGar and Cullen, if only to hide my face from Saundra.
You certainly don't seem like White Circle, nor as I expected Sharelle Maldine to be.
I stiffen.
I admit, I know little of you. There seems to be more to this.
Drit. She knows I want to cry, but the condescension in her tone saves me from the brink. Anger returns, strong, steady, and familiar.
Truly, Shariel, I'm surprised someone so inept was allowed to claim the title.
Her head tilts, scrutinizing me.
Are you truly who you say you are? I want the truth now. I can do nothing if you lie to me. I only wish to understand where things stand.
She pauses, then adds,
If it means anything to you, DagGar thinks you are.
Krista Smithy, Road Talk. 3 months pass, and the yard's less a yard than a map we carries in our minds. Lines under feet, corners you don't cut, shade that lies different when someone's standing where they shouldn't. Jilly says that's the real lesson, that your feet learn to tell you things before your eyes do. She proves it this morning by walking past me without looking, and still putting her sword point exactly where my elbow's about to drift.
Keep truth small. Small is fast. Fast is safe.
I pull the elbow back, bite a smile. Yes, ma'am. Jin's listening with half an ear, his longsword on his shoulder. He gives me that sideways grin and rolls the blade down to guard, all swagger. He masks a stumble with a bow that fools no one. Jilly raps his shin with her stave, which she holds with her left, sword with her right. He bows again, this time more like a student. Dan's clean, square, arm-in sword exactly where Lork wants it. Maury's better every week, less all over. Lork watches without hurry, then breaks us into pairs and keeps the talk quiet.
No big moves today. Receive. Answer.
By noon we're damp with sweat, and better than we were when the sun came up. Jilly calls break. We sit on the step with cups that smell faintly of soap. The cabinet in the room behind us has a new sense of curiosity. The star tucked there, a symbol of White Circle oath, carries a sense of mystery. I catch myself looking and jerk my eyes away. Jin notices. Of course he does.
It's hard not to look at, yeah?
Shut it. He grins, knowing the fun of the taunt.
I like the stories better than the rules, that's all. The yarners make it sing.
Yarners make anything sing if you feed them ale, and then they go home and sleep, leaving the people who heard to pay the price.
We all goes quiet-like for a breath trying to work that one out. Jin breaks it gently, not jabbing this time.
Yes, missus.
He can be good, when he chooses. After chores, Jin and Maury are off for the day. Lork takes me and Dan through a new guard. Weight over ball, shallow outside line, hip doing more than the shoulder. I gets it on the third try, 'cause Jilly steps behind and presses 2 fingers against my shoulder to guide me. Evening pushes us toward the porch. Sup's a nice fish stew, a little salty. We eat, oil our blades, wipe, rack. Lork goes over the day. Jilly watches our faces and somehow knows when a joke is covering a bruise. Jin appears in the evening sun, top of the ridge, waving his hello. He comes down at a jaunty pace and lands both feet at the base of the stairs.
Good evening, Mr., Mrs. I've come to ask if Krista might go for a walk.
Of course.
Ma says before I nods my own approval.
Come on then.
And he gestures for me to precede him. I does. We takes the path at the far end of the field, a path that leads up and down slope, toward the willow and the place where the creek turns into a slow fall of water tumbling over rock. He don't talk at first. I don't neither. At the tree he lays his hand against the bark like it's an old friend, and then he looks at me full.
We could go.
He keeps his voice soft. Not a dare, not a shout. Just the opening to a new story. Go where?
Anywhere, everywhere. Half the island before harvest. Rivet some day if we gots brave. You and me. And them if they like.
I picture a vet I've only heard in stories. Names from Yarners, Fitland, Palace, Fairbore. I'm not ready, I says, 'cause I ain't.
We're not children neither. We don't have to keep living inside other people's promises.
Those promises feed us. Gives us a place to live.
They fed us so we could live.
He's closer now.
We'd be safer with blades. Folk think twice when they see steel.
Jilly says the world gets uppity when they see steel.
Jilly says a lot of things. We could carry and not draw. We're good enough for that.
The words gets in under my ribs. I feels the rapier tugging at my hip. I know its balance in my sleep now, but I know nothing about men who want what I have in a lane I've never walked. You ain't stupid, so don't talk like you are. You really think we can wander the island? Without coin? Without drawing? We're going to have to go back to old tricks and games. You think the watch will land lighter if we're carrying? He smiles.
I never said rush. I said go.
Go is the rush, I says, and I can hear Jilly in my mouth. Hold, don't chase. He don't argue. He shifts and his shoulder touches mine. Lightning, quiet as breath.
Krista, come when I go.
I don't answer the way he wants. I lean in and let my temple rest against his shoulder for one count. Just one. And then I step away and makes my voice normal. Ask me again some day, I says. He grins slow, 'cause I think he knows he's won some.
Soon.
Soon, I echo, and the word feels like a stone in my guts. I looks around the small clearing where we stand, the stream splashing against stone. This is where Lork is talking of building a family crypt. Gots the stones laid, the basement dug and walled into solid stone. A sheet of graph iron over the hole with stones around it to hold it in place. I've never been down, been told not to, but I want to about as much as I want to go with Jin. Maybe one day. We walks back like nothing happened, which is the most obvious kind of nothing, and Dan reads it on my face before I've set my belt back on the peg. He waits till Jin and Maury drift ridgeward, laughing at some private thing, and then Dan says,
No,
I didn't say.
you didn't have to.
He's too old in the eyes for a boy who still counts to calm himself. I wants to be angry at that. I'm not.
What if they're wrong?
And I think he means Jilly and Lork, but he looks toward the cabinet when he says it, and I know he means something bigger.
What if all these lines they've taught us ain't good enough? Or, well, if it ain't really for the white circle?
I don't know, I says, 'cause I don't, but the thought has come to mind. But you know the name Avon, Dan. You know the stories. I believes them.
So do I. But they could still be wrong.
Yeah. I don't sleep right away. I go as far as the porch and stand where the boards tell me how many nights my boots have stood here. The cabinet is just a few paces inside. I don't cross them. The star sits quiet-like. The air around it presses that same steady pressure it's had since the first week I saws it. A fox coughs down by the bend. Up on the ridge, a pebble will be waiting in the morning, 'cause that's what pebbles do now. I sets my back against the door jamb and wait until my heart cleans itself enough to go to bed. 2 days later, Jilly sends me to town for flour. Dan goes with, 'cause Dan always goes with, and 'cause Lork says he trusts us both, and actually does trust one of us. Parton smells like old bread and wet rope. We don't carry 'cause we ain't allowed to. The baker lady has a new apprentice with arms too long for his apron, and he throws us an extra heel 'cause we don't look like we'll steals it. On the way past the alley with the cracked blue pot, the yarner's there, the one with the black hat who never finishes his stories where you think they'll end. I drag Dan close enough to hear before he can object.
And the razor?
The man says, leaning on the table like it has secrets.
It don't choose. It writes a bargain. You don't sign with ink, you sign with livin'. That's why stories go wrong. Folk think wantin' is the same as being chosen.
Don't start.
Dan says under his breath. I'm just standing, I says.
Then we'll stand somewhere else.
We do, but the words come with me, 'cause they're exactly the kind that do. On the way out the gate, a watchman we've seen before tips his chin at us like we're part of the furniture he's learned not to stub a toe on. 2 men I don't know stand a little too long by the chalkboard where the city posts words. They have the look of folk who want something. When they notice me noticing, they looks bored. That's the most interested look there is. Dan tugs my sleeve. We goes home the long way. The next afternoon, the law comes dressed as paperwork. A man with a lapel pin smiles too much, then wanders up to the porch and tries to climb it with his eyes. Lork meets him at the first step, the way a post meets a rope.
Official, voluntary inspection.
The pin says, cheerful as plague.
Ridge Properties, tomorrow noon. Voluntary means, I say no. Of course.
The man says, as if he hasn't heard a no before.
We'll just keep a record of your cooperation.
Spell our names correct.
Jilly says from the doorway. He leaves with a salute he thinks looks smart. Night finds me where it always does, staring at the rough boards that makes the roof of the woodshed. I can hear the house asleep, the creek thinking its slow thoughts, the forest agreeing with itself. I can feel the presence from the cabinet even with the door shut and the latch set. Hold? I whisper, 'cause that's the word that kept us fed. Then I whisper, go? 'Cause that's the one that keeps me from choking. The dark refuses to choose for me. At dawn, a runner's pebble sits dead centre on the ridge path, and a chalk mark I didn't put there slants on the porch post like a question. I'm in the front door feeling all urgently. Jilly and Lork are on the back porch talking. I glance at the cabinet, then make for the porch. Glance again at the cabinet. Stop, look harder. Then I'm to it. The star ain't there.
Sharelle Maldine.
Are you truly who you say you are? I want the truth now. I can do nothing if you lie to me. I only wish to understand where things stand.
She pauses, then adds,
If it means anything to you, DagGar thinks you are.
I don't answer.
I don't understand.
Saundra begins, but her voice grates against me. I turn on her, not in rage, but in desperation. Saundra. I cast contingentium. Saundra jerks back. A grimace of pain crosses her face. A flake of skin crumbles from her cheek. Her back cracks as she shifts, surprise overtaking her features.
Contingentium? The contingency? You?
She hesitates, as if piecing something together.
How do you even know if such works?
A frisson of dread trickles down my spine. She knows it. Of course I know it, I snap, too loud. DagGar and Cullen stop talking. Their eyes shift to us. Saundra's face smooths, and she continues as if nothing had happened.
It's the spell that should not be cast. When did you do this?
Yesterday. Her expression changes. She leans back, the ghost of a smile curling on her lips.
Well, that explains much.
It does. How?
Tell me, Sharel, what exactly did you hope to accomplish by doing such a thing?
I hesitate. I can't say. It's White Circle business.
It is? Strange. I would have thought it Ashriel's business.
Ashriel? Who the hell's is Ashriel?
Still, if it's none of my business, why have you told me? If you don't want my guidance.
Drit. If she truly knows the contingentium, I need to learn everything I can. I do want your guidance, I say, forcing humility into my voice. Saundra sits back, her shriveled face betraying a flicker of surprise.
You do.
I nod.
Very well then. What is it you wish of me?
What did I do? I whisper. The humiliation burns inside me. Saundra exhales, tilting her head slightly.
Dear.
That word again. My stomach knots. Only my mum called me that. The sound of it in Saundra's mouth makes my skin crawl. I take slow breaths, trying to push down the rage rising in my chest. She continues, her voice grinding against the wall of calm I'm barely holding up.
You must understand what you've done. Otherwise, you wouldn't have cast such a thing. What I want to know is why you would invoke something so terrible.
I study her, and for the first time, I see disgust in her expression. She truly believes what I've done is monstrous. I swallow back the bitter taste in my mouth and force out the only answer that lessens the humiliation. Because the White Circle asked it of me.
The contingentium? The White Circle asked you to cast the contingentium? But it is Ashriel's work. Why would the White Circle invoke it?
I shrug, frustrated. I don't know who Ashriel is. Saundra watches me, unreadable. In the letter from Porthalis Avengar, it said the spell gives us another chance at our goals. That's all I was told.
A chance how? You know what it does, don't you? How does this give you another chance?
I don't answer, because I don't know. Saundra shakes her head.
Contingentium. I cannot fathom the fool's sense in asking this of you. Are you certain that's what you cast?
I nod.
Could it have been something else?
I shake my head.
How do you know?
The truth is, I don't, but I recite 3 lines from the second page, the 3 that define the framework and name the Costa Novacula. Saundra's face drops. Her eyes widen.
Christ, save us.
Then she winces. Christ? The name snags in my mind. I've heard of the carpenter god, but only from an old book. A god no one has seen. A god with no place in Elysia. Saundra's voice is cracked, failing.
And how can you be sure it worked?
Because things are different. I know because everything seems fouled. The road to La Rose, Williamshire, the thinnings. None of this is right. Saundra studies me, unreadable. Then, finally, she speaks.
Nothing is right. Cheryl, name the plains of Infernos.
The request is jarring. Any child can name the hells. Why is she asking? unless they are different now too. I don't hesitate. Sansa, Saddam, Tosha, Michnova, Domak, Erebus, Bivaya, and Gentra. Saundra's lips pressed together.
And Alicia?
I'm sweating now. Is she testing me? I force the answer out. Heros, Mekhl, Pastentos, Chrisnom, Chalisti, Antris, Dostris, and Serenia. Saundra nods. Her eyes drift to DagGar. At first, there's something soft in them, something maternal. Then, as the moments stretch, her expression hardens.
I was right, Cheryl Maldine. What have you done?
A chill runs through me. What have I done? I need to know. But Saundra just shakes her head, her expression cold. She stands.
The day wanes.
Cullen looks up, frowning.
It was only mid-morning when we arrived.
Saundra cuts him off.
The days are different in the garden, and it's late.
I tense. Where is she going?
I suggest you sleep. You'll need your strength tomorrow.
I get to my feet. Wait, please, Saundra, I need to speak with you more. She shakes her head and lifts a hand, a silent command.
I am exhausted, Cheryl. I can take no more of you.
Bitterness curdles in my chest. She has no right to look down on me. Not after everything she's done.
I need to check on some things before the night is through. I will be back to collect you both in the morning.
And then, just like that, she's gone.
And that's where we leave it for tonight. That was Season 3, Episode 4, Road Talk. Shirelle faces the weight of Saundra's demands, while DagGar's true nature edges into the light. Meanwhile, in the garden, Krista learns that every lesson carries its own temptation to stay or to go. Thank you for listening to the Dark Razor Chronicles streamcast. I'm your host and author, Mike Carmel. And if the journey speaks to you, please review, share, and subscribe. Until next time, remember, sometimes the hardest road is not the one you travel, but the one you refuse.